There's been so much turnover at the White House, and now there are rumors about McMaster. I'm not asking you about that, but I will ask you about this. You have one of your colleagues, actually the majority leader, he's saying, boy, you could go too far. For example, if you were to fire Jeff Sessions out Attorney General, is there a red line for Republicans where you say, enough's enough, we can't have this much turmoil?
I don't know if there's a red line, except everybody is concerned. The president's obviously entitled to have his own people, but when there's so much turnover, of course you're concerned. So hopefully the president considers that when he makes these personnel changes.
I'm wondering, Senator, based on some of the turmoil and kind of wrapping this into your health care proposal, does it sort of suck the oxygen out of the air that is necessary to tackle issues like your health care bill?
I don't think so because, for example, Alex Azar and I have spoken, and they are pushing the same thing. He gave a speech to the insurance folks last week in which he spoke of the need for price transparency. Scott Gottlieb, the FDA chief, did the same, speaking about how pharmaceutical companies and PBMs wrap these deals together in which there cannot be competition. So I think that this is continuing in parallel to whatever else may be occurring in Washington.
So, Senator, talking about the PBMs and the healthcare companies that have been consolidating, we're seeing a lot of that, the CVS deal and Aetna. There have been rumors of others as well. Does this concern you? Are you a little bit worried about some of the consolidation here?
Absolutely. As there's consolidation, there's less competition. And believe it or not, when there's less competition, prices rise. It's clearly been shown in the cases of hospitals where partners in Boston formed between the two major hospitals, and prices have risen and the bargaining power of the hospital strengthens, so premium payers are paying more. That's wrong. We've got to lower prices. Competition is how you get there. Consolidation can be a problem.
Okay, so I want to come back here and illustrate exactly what you're saying. We have a chart actually showing how healthcare costs have been going up in recent times much faster, actually, than inflation overall, to illustrate part of the point here. As I say, your bill, as I understand it, says let's have some transparency. Could you just explain exactly what it covers? Does it cover drug prices as well as services?
Right now, we started off with services, but drug prices would come along, and Gottlieb has talked about drug pricing. We're trying to set up a domino where you click one domino, and all of a sudden the consumer says, wait a second, I know the price now. I didn't before. I should know it here as well. And once you click that, it just starts. It should be like buying an airline ticket. You know where you want to go, the time and date. You log on. If the price suits your budget, you go for it. If not, you change your plans. That should be how getting a CT scan is. Go now, $2,500. Go Thursday at midnight, get it for $250. Allow the consumer to have that price transparency. That will drive down prices.
So, Senator, that makes such good sense, and it's worked in so many parts of the U.S. economy. It is a bipartisan bill. Where's the resistance?
Where's the what?
Resistance.
Oh, well, obviously, if you're the person who's charging, as was reported last week, $17,000 for a urine drug test, you don't want that price transparency. Imagine that. You go in for a pre-employment physical urine drug screen, and it's $17,000. This is reported in Kaiser Health News. So if you're the person jacking up the price, you don't like the price transparency. But we should give power to the patient, the power of price transparency.
Senator, I want to just go back to some of the consolidation that we're seeing. We know that Cigna is bidding for Express Scripts. CVS just raised a ton of money in the bond market to pay for its acquisition of Aetna. Would you sort of encourage some sort of governmental intervention in these deals? Because that is one question out there, especially as other deals like Time Warner and AT&T also face increased government scrutiny.
DOJ should clearly look at this as an arm of, or as the enforcement arm of the Federal Trade Commission. Absolutely. Again, what Scott Gottlieb pointed out, the FDA commissioner in his talk, is that this kind of strong relationship between pharmaceutical manufacturers and the PBMs allows deals to be cast in which there cannot be competition by, say, biosimilars, a form of a drug which is incredibly expensive, and these deals cannot be made. So these clearly should be looked at.
Well, on this particular point, Senator, do you have some allies within the pharmaceutical industry itself? I talked to Alex Gorski of Johnson & Johnson just recently, and he said we have to bend the cost curve, and the number one way of doing that, he said, was actually having transparency on drugs, and particularly when it comes to some of these rebates.
You know, I think that the pharmaceutical companies feel hostage to the rebate situation. And they're getting blamed because if a drug costs $500, they're given a rebate down to $250, but the patient is still paying $500 because for whatever reason somebody besides the drug company is pocketing that $250. They feel blamed. Now, the pharmaceutical companies are not blameless, but on this I think they have a really good point. If we had transparency, I'm not sure rebates really accomplish anything. We should give the patient the net price. If it comes out of the pharmaceutical company at $250, the patient should get it for $256 or something like that.